Good day, live geography learners, grade 11. Thank you so much for following and tuning on to Metric Hub. As you can see, we have got a very beautiful uh, model that is very, very, very important as it comes to term 3 work, as it comes to geography and economic development model. So I was saying questions that I've seen in the previous questions that I've seen, they ask questions like who developed this model, uh, identify the steps that are numbered one to something. They can ask all of them. And again, they want you to know the characteristics and features of each of the developmental stages that are shown there. And then finally, they would also ask you at which stage can South Africa fall according to this developmental uh, model, and then give reasons why you say that. So for us to be able to answer those questions, I just want us to quickly look at the model and analyze it as we go. So who developed the model? This is the Rostow development model, which was developed by one of the most influential and outspoken advocate who identified the various stages of growth. Uh, this guy or this economist, an economist and professor, as well as political theorist, Walt Whitman Rostow, is the one who developed the model. So the model, don't forget that it was developed by Rostow. Rostow developed the model, and therefore that's the name, and that is why it is named the Rostow development model. And then, according to him, he actually identified the transition from underdevelopment to development that can be described and analyzed in terms of a series of steps or stages through which almost every country must proceed through, or almost every country must go through. So, according to this economist, or according to this professor, he actually understand that countries passes through sequential stages in achieving development. And for your own information, he was also an economic historian, Rostow. So what he identified is that each country is to pass through one of the five stages. Is to pass it, each country can be placed in one of the five stages or five categories in terms of their stage of development. If we are to analyze the various countries in the world, we can find out that each of the countries can fall into five categories or five stages that Rostow identified. So there are actually series being to say that they follow one after the other. So it presupposes that countries progressively go through the five stages in order for them to achieve modernization and economic development. So now, the five stages that are identified there are these ones that I've named here. We have got the traditional society, we have got the preconditions for takeoff, we have got the takeoff, derived to maturity, and the age of high mass consumption. Those are the five stages that are identified by Rostow. And then the model actually described this transition, as I said, from a traditional or from a very old, ancient, we are saying from an old, it identifies these development stages from an old and ancient primitive, which are saying old, we can say traditional agrarian economies to advanced industrialized and consumer focused societies, which are achieved by each of the countries or by almost every country through uh, the five stages that he identified here. So, who identified the model? We said that it is what it was identified by Rostow, and then identified the steps, identified the steps that are numbered. When you see this, you shall find out that they would choose which stages they want you to identify and name them. So here we have got all of them. Stage one is a traditional society. which is stage one is a traditional society, stage two is the preconditions for takeoff, and then stage three is takeoff, stage four is derived to maturity, and then finally stage five, age of high mass consumption. These are the five stages. And then where does South Africa fall in? In order for us to look at that, I want us to understand that on the vertical level, we are looking at the stages of development or levels of development on the vertical line, and then over time, which is also given on the horizontal line here. So let's identify the traditional society, which is the first stage. It is actually a pre-industrial stage that is characterized, that is shown by limited. It is shown it is shown by limited technology, strong emphasis on agriculture, which we are saying it's a primary industrial development stage, and also social and political power are concentrated in the hands of the land-owning elites. The land-owning elites, we are talking about the elites. We talk about the best. We talk about the most advantaged. We talk about these people who have got the influence. So the economic activity is basic. It's actually basic, as to say it is primary industrial activities that are forming part in that traditional society. So as the name defines itself, we have uh, we have got a low ceiling on per capita output due to technological limitations. Technological limitations result in low per capita output, and therefore, like we said, the society is primitive. It is actually ancient and traditional. So uh, there is heavy reliance. There is heavy reliance on subsistence farming to feed families. Families are basically the reasons of the primary farming that is taking place. Subsistence, meaning to say that the farmers are just not uh, commercial oriented. They don't understand, or they are not involved in buying and selling. They are only doing it basically to feed their own families. So society relies on community bartering. Goods are sold. People exchange goods to goods. Goods are exchanged against each other, or else we are saying people exchange goods versus goods in terms of trade. So in that respect, we are saying goods versus goods in terms of trade. So economy is actually very slow. Means of production and are under means of production are underutilized. They are underutilized the means of production because of low industrialization. They are under they are underutilized. Why are the means of production underutilized? It's because we have got what? We don't have mechanization, and then resulting in a society, resulting in low per capita, which results in low per capita output, resulting in low per capita output, which we have as one of the main characteristic again that is shown here. And per capita income also is low. People have low money because there is only subsistence farming that takes place there. People are producing only for themselves. There is no sale. So the household's income is quite low because of they are so traditional. They have no they are trading goods to goods. There is barter trade dominating the economies there. So we talk about people rely on community bartering rather than advanced banking. So advanced banking does not exist. So society is also governed by small ruling. Society is governed by small ruling elites with strong traditional values, which also these people set a low pace for development because they are so attached and inclined to their traditional values, traditional norms, defines the way through which businesses are done. preconditions for takeoff, which is stage number two. Stage number two, it is uh, during this transitional phase where conditions for growth begin to emerge. They start to emerge, resulting in scientific and technological advancement, which at the end of the day would improve productivity. Productivity increases at the end of the day, or at a long run. We have also increased savings and investment in areas such as infrastructure. In any society, development is actually promoted because of infrastructural investment. So if this precondition for takeoff, a country would also invest more on infrastructure in order for it to have commercialized businesses. For in this case, we talk about the commercialization of agricultural development, which has to also to take place to facilitate trade. People see possibilities for improvement. People start to understand and perceive that improvement is necessary. Therefore, there is need for growing specialization and commercialization of skills. So, specialization where people now focus on areas that they can do best, and also commercialization, selling their skills, trading their best what you call qualities and qualifications, which also help in terms of a growing focus on exports of those primary products in terms of mining and farming. So this again would increase investment through surplus that is being made, because now we are saying production is becoming sophisticated because of specialization. There is also a realization for commercialization where people start selling, and then international trade kicks in, where mineral resources and agricultural produce are being sold on international markets. Therefore, we have got foreign earnings, which is another good characteristic of preconditions for takeoff. So if we look at stage three, it is a critical stage in new industries are emerging and drive economic growth. Economic growth is driven because the economy starts to balance and also run alone. The economy starts to balance, it starts to be self-reliant and run alone. Manufacturing develops rapidly. Rapid growth of manufacturing is as a result of the commercialization and specialization that have preset themselves on the previous stage. So we have got the social and political economic elites, individuals who are also knowledged, or which are knowledgeable, also entering into other paradigms of the economy, increasing further growth of the economy. So in this case, we have got also huge technological advancement, which actually facilitate industrialization. Technological advancement promotes industrialization and then development of domestic manufacturing sector. So in other ways, at stage three, the take of the country does not depend mostly on importation, but they focus on the development of their own industries in order to promote uh, local businesses. So there is a rapid increase in regional cities as well as service industries within a country. Um, Political modernization, as in terms of the allowance and participation of people into elections and so forth. Instead of political influence being in the hands of the few, we now have got the principles of democracy taking part. And therefore, this would also grow domestic demands, because people are now understanding each other. There is civilization, and again, there is greater spending on education and social overheads. The social overheads, we are talking about all the factors or all the facilities that would affect the living standards of people within a country. They are well taken care of. So education, we talk about hospitals, we talk about infrastructure, government of countries that are at stage three, the takeoff stage. takes account on that. So in other words, I was saying at which stage does South Africa fall or suit? We can agree and say that it suits stage 3 because it is the one which we have got the characteristics of regional development. We talk about the investment in technological advancement. We talk about greater spending on education. We talk about expansion in infrastructure and also the implementation and realization of democratic community and society as well as a country at large. Let's talk about stage number 4, drive to maturity. Derived to maturity, the economy diversifies. The economy engage into a variety of activities beyond the initial industries and therefore becoming more mechanical, more automated, and very dynamic. So therefore, people can be able to produce more. We have got investment in manufacturing that sometimes or that basically surpasses 10% of the national income a country is making, and new technologies and skilled labor contribute to economic what? Expansion. So if a country can have an investment of such an amount of money in new technologies, we are talking about uh, improvement in what? In industrialization. So a range of domestic production widens up. We have got replacement of imports with domestic production. Actually, that we can call import substitution. That increases also diversification and investment from home to abroad. Country or in states will start to invest into other countries in order for them to earn more income, to earn the much needed foreign currency. There, there is also increasing need for innovation in order for a country to be competitive enough in a foreign or international market. Innovation has to take place. That is also for it to increase its efficiency and existing techniques of uh, business operations. So South Africa can as well fit and fall into stage 4. Stage 4, South Africa can as well qualify to fail, to face in, I mean, to fall into that category. As you can see, the characteristics that we have talked about, increase in diversification, import substitution. South Africa does not have more of its products coming from outside. We can talk about the motor industry, the automotive one, for example. Much of our cars are not from outside the country. We talk about many other products that are locally produced. Therefore, we can agree and suit and match to say that South Africa falls into what? At stage 4. Let's have the last stage, the age of high mass consumption, which is the final stage where a nation enjoys high standards of living, which are caused because of innovation and a gain in efficiency of business production methods. We talk about increasing diversification that is also preset themselves on stage number 4. So now standards of living therefore are becoming better. People are focusing. There is a shift from heavy industry to consumer goods and services. People would want now goods and services that they actually need to use on a monthly basis, and then driven by high levels of what? Productivity and consumption. Consumption, which is derived by consumer buying behavior and preferences, now causes increase in productivity class. Uh, the economy becomes heavily geared towards service provision due to exploiting their comparative advantages. The comparative advantages in this case, we are talking about the merits, or we can talk about the economies of scale that countries are enjoying as they are increasing in their production capacities. The advantages that comes as a result of many other factors. It can be geographical location, it can be technological advancement, it can be because of natural resources that they have within their countries, or we can talk about many other factors that are distinctive from another country. So each country is performing and offering services according to what they have or according to the advantages and merits that exist within their borders. And then that also affects commerce, how business is done. Like today, we talk about a global economy where we have got high quality world class infrastructure also coming into existence. In order for such business operations to be met, high class infrastructure are put in place. We talk about the conveyor belts, we talk about automated systems, we talk about the fourth industrial revolution systems and whatsoever. Uh, uh, Technological advancement, which results in high demand for consumer durable goods, and society becomes very civilized and sophisticated. In terms of demanding for durable consumer goods, we talk about people now no longer want to buy fake. They no longer want to buy things that are prototype. They are low quality. They now want goods and services of high quality because they can afford them, because they've assumed a higher standards of living. Therefore, they wouldn't want to make themselves according to those classes. So what I want you to understand is that when we look at this model, it has got its own limitations. Among some of them are that we might not have every country fitting into those 5 categories. Maybe they are too small. Other countries might not also fall into those 5 categories. They might have been more than that, depending on the different technological growth and also world-class services each country is giving and offering. Again, this model seems to be too confined in terms of how it has been analyzed, in terms of how it has been presupposed to mean that every country fall into that. So some limitations such as those, we can actually maybe assume that there is not enough information. But anyway, we are saying it is a good model because it actually offers the basis from which economists, from which government planners, from which further research and development can be built on. So it is quite a notable and outstanding model that we can actually relate and agree that it has been useful and it can also be applicable to a certain extent. So thank you very much for your time. And again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow so then we can be able to keep connected. Keep connected, keep following. This is your channel. Metric is there for you. Let's connect now and also put your young brothers and sisters. So therefore, by the time they reach grade 12, they will be so ready to write these exams. We have got the technical test of how exams are to be articulated, are to be answered. Have a beautiful stay. Keep following. More videos are loading for revision. Term 3 and Term 4 is coming up to the next level that we are going grade 12. We are together. Have a beautiful stay and bye.